I'm about to read One Golden Summer by Carley Fortune. This is her new book that is actually one of her only books so far that features a character that we met in her other books. If you read Every Summer After, then you would be familiar with Charlie. And so Charlie is actually the main character in this book. He's the older brother of Sam. And this book also takes place in Barry's Bay. So in Every Summer After, we had Percy, Sam, and Charlie. And every single year, Percy would go hang out with Charlie and Sam every single summer. And the romance is between her and Sam. But she kind of had a little bit of a thing for the older brother, Charlie. That was the only part of the book I didn't like, really. But now he gets his own story, which is going to be really, really cool.
Sun's up high in the blue sky, warm sand beneath my bare feet. Waves crashing, calling my name. Summer's here, feel the heat. Oh, 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 oh. Pack your bags, let's hit the road. Laughter ringing in the air.
So I'm a little bit more than 100 pages into One Golden Summer, and here are my thoughts so far. I love the way that Carley Fortune paints the scene. You can really feel and smell and just experience it, even if you've never been. I personally have never been to Barry's Bay, despite it actually not being too far from me. But this makes it feel like I have been there before, especially because of the other book, Every Summer After, where the book took place in Barry's Bay and we were following along Percy and kind of her story along with like Sam and Charlie. And so I thought it's really cool that I'm able to really feel like I've experienced these places because she writes in such a vivid way that it really just like sticks with you. So where I'm at right now is we're introduced to our main character, Alice, and she is a photographer. And she has loved photography since she was 17 when her grandmother gave her a camera and she ended up taking a picture of these 3 teenagers on this yellow boat. And what's really fun is that these 3 teenagers obviously were Percy, Sam, and Charlie. So that's really cool that she ended up taking their picture without even knowing who they were. And because of that, I kind of like, she really loved that photo. She still has the photo and it really got her into photography. And so many, many years later, she's now like 32, 33. And she works as a professional photographer, except she kind of feels like she's maybe losing a bit of her passion. She'd gone through a bad breakup like half a year ago. She's still kind of dealing with it. And she feels like she's not able to be as creative as she wants to because she takes the photos, but then she has to edit them and really just kind of like clean them up. And that's obviously not what she wants. She wants to capture real moments, real people, and not edit stuff out. So she's like, one of her clients was like, okay, like smooth their skin out, like make them smaller, like this kind of stuff. And she really doesn't like that. And it's really taken a toll on her, especially because since her breakup, she has not taken a break. She has been working constantly to just kind of not think about it. And she's the person in the family who takes care of everybody else, but nobody ever takes care of her. And so her Nan, her grandma named Nan, it's actually like her name is actually Nan. Her grandma unfortunately breaks her hip. And so Alice is like, oh, well, I'm gonna go like take care of her because obviously she's the one who takes care of people. And so she goes to see her grandma and they're in Toronto. But then she realizes like, Nan looks a little bit sad and she's like, well, there was that one summer we went to Barry's Bay and it was really, really great. And so she's like, maybe she can make her grandma feel a lot happier, new scenery, the great outdoors, that kind of stuff. And so she ends up with her grandmother going to Barry's Bay for the summer. And so during that time, we're kind of following her as she creates a bucket list and she's kind of doing some of the stuff that she would have done when she was younger, trying to find her passion again, trying to feel alive and young and free, especially because her birthday is coming up. Her birthday's on Canada Day. And she, of course, ends up meeting Charlie because the house that she and her Nan are in is actually her Nan's former kind of like friend. Like basically the story is that like Nan and her husband were best friends with this other couple, but Nan's husband had passed away and her best friend Joyce had passed away. And so then John was the one at the cabin, but it seems like with Nan and John, their friendship kind of like, they stopped talking to each other after like their loved ones passed away and stuff. I've seen it happen a lot with old people, unfortunately. And so Alice ends up kind of reconnecting with John, and John has Charlie taking care of his house because he wants to sell the house, but he wants the house to be in good shape. And so because John's not there, Alice and Nan are able to be in that house, but the person who's taking care of the house and is gonna kind of like check in on them is Charlie. And so the dynamic between them, it's instant like, whoa man, this guy is really, really hot. But the thing for me about Charlie, and this makes it really hard for me in this book, is that his personality is way too similar to my brother's. And so I'm like, I can't help but picture him, and then I'm like, ugh. Like, no offense to my brother, obviously. Like, my brothers are good, my sisters are good, all that good stuff. But when you're reading a romance book, you do not want the character to remind you of your brother because it just gives the ick. So hopefully I can kind of pull my brain away and see this man as Charlie, not as my brother. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to continue to read One Golden Summer, and I'll update you around the halfway mark, so I will see you then. So I'm now a little bit more than halfway through One Golden Summer, and the sensory experience of Carley Fortune's writing is just like so good. I literally feel like I'm sunburned and that I smell like brine, but like in a good way, like, and have like that nice exhaustion you get after just like a nice hot summer day and at like the beach or at the lake, and then you just kind of relax and you just have the best nap of your life. That's like, that feeling is just like this book. I really love Alice's character growth as well throughout this book, and I love her grandmother, Nan. I just love their dynamic. I love their relationship. I will say, though, it is a little bit hard sometimes for me to read about her grandmother, just because I really, really love my grandmother, and she's no longer around. So it kind of makes me just feel like really sad and like I really miss her. But it's nice, though, to follow along like Alice and her journey and just how alive she comes at the lake, and then seeing how different Charlie is now from when he was much younger, and how this is gonna be a bit of a spoiler if you have not read Every Summer After, just a bit of a warning. But like, he had slept with Percy when she and Sam were in that kind of like awkward, are they together, are they not together kind of thing. And so it's really honestly nice to see him regret what he did, and not just regret it, but work on himself to become a better person. And so you see that a lot with how he's interacting with Alice. He's really taking it slow. Like, they haven't actually like spent the night together, if you get what I mean. And so he's taking it really, really slow, and it's also fun because they're just hanging out, they're working on her bucket list together. So it's really cute and it's really wholesome, and I really like seeing that he's become a better person. He has a better idea of like who he wants to be. But yeah, overall, I'm having a good time with this book. It's so summery. It literally just feels like I'm at the lake. And that's honestly what I really love about Carley Fortune's books, and that they're all Canadian. They take place in Canadian places. So I really do feel like I've been having such a fun summer at the lake, even though it's just like, summer's actually just starting, but you know what I mean? Like, because it's like this world, like this book, it really just like pulls you into it. It makes you feel like you've experienced all this stuff as well. It's like me and Alice hanging out, and then I'm like a kind of a creepy fly on the wall while she and Charlie go and like kiss and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are at. I'm going to continue to read this book, and I'll update you when I finish it. So I will see you then with my final thoughts. So I just finished One Golden Summer by Carley Fortune, and this book definitely got me feeling a little bit emotional. I think, like I kind of mentioned, anytime like the grandma was there, it really just like, I really just felt it in my heart. And then like there was a scene with a character like inside of a hospital, and I was just like, oh, because it just made me think about like if you've ever had the unfortunate experience of seeing a loved one in the ICU, that is something in this book. And for me, it was really hard to read it, to be honest. So yeah, this book definitely got a bit more emotional than I was expecting. I was really expecting like just like a fun, beachy kind of lake adventure, which you do get a lot of that. That feeling in the summertime where you're like sunburned, you have like that exhaustion, but like in a good way. You smell like brine, like everything is just awesome. That feeling has been managed to become a book, and I think all of Carley Fortune's books do this in a really good way where you just feel summer. This is summer somehow just like distilled into paper. And it really does, like, you really do feel it. And so I really love that about her books. I love the settings, and I really want to go to Barry's Bay now. I also really like that we finally got Charlie's story and really just like his redemption arc. This book was all about the redemption arc of Charlie, and it was good. Yeah, I had a good time with this book. I really love the summer vibes. If you're looking for summer vibes and romance with some hard-hitting, real human issues and experiences and challenges, and a very likable character, Alice, who goes through a lot of growth, and I'm just so proud of her, and a very real feeling family, and really just like real feeling characters. Like all of their relationships, like with Alice and like all of her family members, they felt really real. And then same with Charlie and his family members, who we know have been fleshed out in like the first, I call it the first, but it's not the first book. Like you don't have to read them in order. But yeah, it's really cool because you get to meet these characters, you get to see them interact, and it's cool because this whole story is basically two people who have a lot of baggage and are trying to figure out who they are, and they are at the lake kind of reliving their teenagehood, and that's helping them heal and grow so they're ready to take on what life throws at them next. And I think that that's really fun and really good, and so it's such a great message. And it's also just a book about two people who are scared of being seen. They don't want people to see who they actually are inside. And so the fact that they both pull the layers from each other, they're really good together, and I think this was very well done. I did enjoy this book, and I'm really excited for what Carley Fortune will release next. And I wonder where in Canada. I feel like she's got to do a British Columbia one next, because BC is beautiful, honestly beautiful, perfect beach vibes, like Victoria. I would love to see that. Carley Fortune, if you're watching this video, is your next book in British Columbia? If not, can it be? That would be really cool. And also, I love your covers, and I met you once before as well, and you signed my books, which is really cool, but you haven't signed this one, so I'll have to meet you again so you can sign this one. So today we are going to be awarding one Golden Summer a total of 3.5 stars. This book was definitely good. I think that the writing was really great. The setting, honestly, beautiful. I feel like I've never read a book. I feel like Carley Fortune is one of those authors who's just so good at putting you into the world and the time, and you just feel it in a way that I feel like no other author has been able to replicate, and I think she's very good at that. And I think I definitely would have liked this book more, probably put it into 4-star territory, if Charlie did not remind me of my brother. So that gave me a bit of an ick. I'm lucky that like everybody in my family, we have very unique names, so I don't ever have to worry about like, oh, this character has the same name as somebody. Like the names, sometimes I do find them, but they're never like love interest or anything like that. But when the personality is exactly like it, I'm like, okay, that's oh no, I don't like that at all. So I'm glad that it was Alice's POV, because if we had Charlie's POV, I don't know, I feel like I would just think even more that he is my brother, because then we don't even hear his name. But yeah, that's the only thing I didn't really like. And then I think maybe if I read this book in like a few more months, maybe it wouldn't hurt as much to read it, if that makes sense. Like, grief is weird, and like I know it's never gonna go away, and it's been like half a year already, but I don't think I was ready to read about a grandma who loves her grandkids so much and just reminded me so much of my own grandma. So yeah, that was hard. That part was hard, to be honest. But yeah, definitely recommend this book. I know that you don't have to read them in order, but I think that if you read Every Summer After and then this one, it just works. It just works. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is The Ghost Woods by C.J. Cook. This book is for my horror book club that I mentioned I'm a part of. So this is going to be the second book for the horror book club, and it's due the end of this month. So I already had this book. I bought it when I did the independent bookstore day, and I was like, oh, I do own a horror book. And so this is what we ended up going with, and I'm excited. It's also kind of funny because it's like, you kind of see what I'm trying to talk about, but like, it's like, it kind of matches, but like it doesn't. It's like a dark version. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, so this is the book that I'll be reading next. So if you're interested in watching me read The Ghost Woods or any other book that happens to be on my never-ending TBR, definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. If you enjoyed this video and you're so excited and just ready to go to the beach or the lake or some kind of summer water activity, definitely hit the like button and let me know, like, what's your favorite part about summer? I honestly really love going, just putting my feet in the water and like throwing one of those like foam ball things, because like I don't want seaweed to touch me. Like, nothing grosser than seaweed touching you. It's like, ugh. Yeah, no, I hate that. That's my least favorite part about summer. And so I just put my feet in the water and that's about it. But I love that part of summer. So let me know in the comments, what is your favorite part? Like, what do you like to do the most in the summertime? And one last cool thing for you, if you've ever wanted to be part of an exclusive community where you get access to videos before they're published, behind the scenes content, you can vote in polls, you get special badges and emojis that really just help you stand out, that really just show your support, you actually can by becoming a member of my channel. Anytime someone becomes a member of my channel, doesn't even matter which tier you pick, it all directly goes towards me getting more books that we can read together, be it on the Kobo or the physical book or hardcovers or sprayed edges. It directly goes towards that. So if that sounds interesting to you, all the information for it is in the description to this video. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And with that, I'm going to wish you warm wishes and fish kisses, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.